Thanks for coming here. First of all, I'd like to thank all of my staff, hockey ops staff, which I probably don't do enough in terms of all the work they put in. All our pro scouts were here, for example, and all the hours that they work and all the games they see every year. So the trading deadline is, they get at least to get some fruit from all their labor. So I thank all of them for all their hours and travel they've done for the Predators, not only this year but all the years that we worked together. We made a couple of trades a week or so ago. We traded for Cody McLeod and for Brian Poile, and then today we made two other trades. We got Mikael Granlund from Minnesota for Kevin Fiala, and we got Wayne Simmonds for Ryan Hartman from Philadelphia. I really think going into the trade deadline that we had a good team. I think this has been a little bit more of a trying year than the last couple of years. A little bit more ups and downs. But as I just said, I have good confidence in our team. I think it's my job to see if we can improve the team, and I think the opportunities that we took today, I think are moves that are going to improve our team. I think we captured in both players a lot of things that we've been looking for. Both players play the power play. Both players have been effective on the power play for a long time. Granlund probably falls into being a player that could be one of our top scorers, right up there with Joey, Arvey, and Forsberg. I believe his point totals the last couple of years have been 69 and 67 points, and his production has been very high and very consistent. There's no question that we've been looking for more secondary scoring in the last little while, and wherever our coach puts Granlund, whether that's breaking up our first line or whether it's enhancing our second line, I am very confident that we're going to be more of a threat with Granlund in our lineup than we were previously. Along the same lines, Wayne Simmonds brings not only the offensive consistency that he's had through his career, and he's got 4 20-goal seasons, but he's a presence on the power play, and he really has some good hands around the net, and has been very effective scoring and helping on the power play for the Philadelphia Flyers. In addition to that, he gives us that size and that physical element that we probably wanted to add a little bit more, another complement to Brian Poile, if you will. And as we forecast and see how the playoffs are lining up right now, Winnipeg, St. Louis, for example, those are going to be not easy series, but those are going to be series against some big boys and could be some physicality in it. So all in all, as I said, I was happy before the day started, and I feel that we're in a better place today. I think our team really solidified, and it's got some depth, and got some more offensive power, and got some more physicality. So any questions?
Dave, I know you want to improve your team at all costs, but did you respond to anything that any other team did, possibly?
No, but you can't help but keep an eye on that. I mean, we've got all the TVs in a room, and you see what somebody is doing, what have you. But I get that, and I think that's a question I anticipate. But I think we have to be focused on ourselves. I think, as I said in my first comment, that we're having some more challenges this year, and maybe whatever it is, it's the consistency, secondary scoring specifically from the second line, and that was the focus. If anything, they have written up on our board there is to improve our offensive productivity, and specifically on the second line.
David, how difficult is it to part with Fiala, and how difficult is it to part with Fiala, and what do you think his upside is as a player?
Well, it's disappointing when you give up on a young player. I'll certainly tell you that. You draft players. I mean, my first choice is to have them play here for their whole career. I know that hardly ever happens, but still, Kevin has shown flashes of being a really good player, but again, a little bit of inconsistency. I think there's no question that he would be a goal scorer, and so we're going to have to be hearing and reading about that for years to come, because he's such a young player. But I am, so from that standpoint, I wish it would have worked out here. Having said that, I think Granlund is a much more well-rounded player in all areas. Obviously, 4 or 5 years older, so he has more of a complete game right now. So in years to come, if Kevin plays on a more consistent basis, that's not going to be a perfect situation.
Was it important, David, to be able to keep some of the future, if you will, as well, the first-round draft pick, your top 2 prospects, even though you may be...
Yeah, that's always the rub in every deal when you're, for the most part, dealing with teams that aren't making the playoffs or who are sellers. It's always your best prospect or your first-round pick. And I've done that before, and, you know, again, it was in lots of conversations I had that was brought up or what have you. So, I mean, we traded our 2nd pick for Poile, and then our 4th pick for Simmonds. I mean, that's not perfect, and again, I'm trying my best to keep our team competitive at the NHL, which is my job, but also try and fill up the cupboard so with our prospects and get Milwaukee into a situation where they're more competitive and they're developing players. And, you know, right now, to be real honest with you, the trade deadline and what we give up doesn't match what I just said. So we'll hopefully do really good this year and won't make any trades next year. Don't count on that, by the way.
The fact that Granlund is under contract for another year, did that make him more attractive? Absolutely.
I mean, obviously, we wouldn't have done that. So, I mean, obviously, if we can get Granlund here and he fits into our situation, he likes us, we like him. I mean, obviously, we'd certainly like to have him here for more than just 2 years. That wouldn't be a great situation if it was only 2 years.
Have you had a chance to talk with Granlund today? I know he's in the process of having a baby.
Oh, yeah.
When do you expect?
Well, I did talk to him, and as a father and now as a grandfather, I didn't even say anything about the trade for 5 minutes. I told him how important it was to take care of his wife and the baby, and what a great day this is for he and his family, et cetera, et cetera. And I said, I'll see you when I see you. So they haven't had the baby yet. They were just having a doctor's appointment, probably thinking they're going to the hospital tonight, but it may not be tonight, it might be tomorrow. So we'll have more of a hockey conversation with him after the baby is born.
Do you expect them to both be in the lineup tomorrow, or does that depend on
Simmonds for sure, and I think Granlund, we'd have to wait to see what happens with the baby, when and make sure everything is okay there, and we'll go from there. So Simmonds, yes. Granlund's question mark.
Hartman was a guy you obviously gave up the first 4 last year. Did you feel like, seemed like he had a number of opportunities this year due to the injuries to maybe sort of showcase himself a little bit on the first or second round, but didn't necessarily quite happen for him?
Yeah, I would say that's accurate. I mean, I think he wanted to fit in a little bit higher, and we probably wanted to have him fit in a little bit higher, and he was given those opportunities when we had all of those injuries. He did not a bad job, but we kept moving him around. Didn't seem to have quite a place to play. I think again they're young players that you're trading, and I think his best years are ahead of him too, and his consistency is ahead of him. So again, we're in a position right now where we feel we have a chance to not only make the playoffs but win rounds in the playoffs and compete for the Stanley Cup. So we're giving away, whether it's your first round pick or it's young players like Fiala or Hartman, we're giving up some future to try to get at it right today.
David, I know your players said in the offseason they wanted to bring the same team back, but after you looked at the body of work so far this year, did you feel like this group needed a shakeup?
Well, we're going to see, aren't we, after we've made the trades. I mean, if I hadn't done anything today, which you never know how this goes. I mean, these trades were made very late in the day. I had lots of things going on, but I would have probably used that line with you today. I would have said I'm happy with our team. I would have said we had some inconsistencies, but I don't feel there any reason why we couldn't get it together and be a top team. Having said that, we've made 2 trades, and I believe our team is better today than it was yesterday. So I'm all in, as you can see, and I'm glad we had the opportunity to do those 2 deals.
How much did the fact that Simmonds has played for Laviolette before factor into what you were going after there?
Well, it factored in. I mean, you can't pay more than we thought we'd have to pay to make the deal, but Lavi spoke very highly of him as a person in the room, what he does for the team, how he stands up for his teammates, and how he can get the job done on the ice, and how he can be a valuable contributor to our hockey club. So, it was a player that we had on our list right from the get-go, and just the deal didn't happen to the very end. I can't exactly explain why that is, because we had some conversations, but it was right at the end that it happened.
As a buyer on this date, is that when you get into that last hour, do you see the price change sometimes?
I was hoping so, because we didn't make our deals until the last hour. So I could have been standing here in front of you with that we did nothing. I mean, it's hard. I'd like to tell you that it's just really easy and I'm really calm and all that stuff, but it's not the case, because when it gets to the last day, you can have multiple calls all at all at the same time, and then you might be favoring something, and this guy's calling, but you really want the other guy to be calling you back. And sometimes things don't come to you in the right order. I think this was a real interesting trade deadline because there were such significant players like Duchesne that went a couple of days ago, and then Kevin Hayes was up there, and then Mark Stone I think was really kind of holding up a lot of teams from being able to make their deals, because if a lot of teams were saying, if I don't get this guy, then I'll do this, but the time was running out. That deal, what I heard, just happened like 19 minutes before the trade deadline was over.
Were you very much interested in Duchesne, Stone, those type players, or I guess obviously you kick the tires on anything like that?
Yeah, I'm trying to be, as I always try to be, a little reluctant to talk about other teams' players, but whenever there's good players out there, I certainly throw my hat in the ring to find out what the cost is and whether there's a fit. So, yes.
David, in 2012, you acquired 4 players, and then after the season was over, you had said that you were worried that maybe it was a little bit too much as far as chemistry in the room. Is that a concern with 3 new players in February?
It's always a concern, because if we go back to the previous question, I mean, this was a year to possibly do nothing, and that's always on my mind, to get the right balance. But I guess the answer is that I saw enough situations where there was a little bit of concern that I felt maybe the necessity of trying to do a deal, or if we could change a couple of parts, or at least create more competition or fire, or at the very least, which I always want to do, is show the players that management believes in them, and we want to go as far as we can go this year. I mean, we won the President's Trophy last year, and we virtually have the same team. I could argue we have a better team today than we had last year at this time. So, I'm all good. I mean, they're all, the questions sort of get to be hypothetical, and my answers probably get to be hypothetical too. We've done what we've done. I'm glad that we did it. I wasn't. I'm always concerned about our team and our play, and I didn't like the last game. I can't be standing up here making decisions on what happened in the last game.